Oklahoma is home to so many amazing women.
Today on Pete's Corner, we're going to be highlighting some of Oklahoma's most prominent women and the impact that they left on their communities.
Welcome back to Pete's Corner, the place to go to get an inside look into all things Stillwater. I'm Alex Dusky.
And I'm Mally Jones. Today on Pete's Corner, we are going to be highlighting some of Oklahoma's most prominent women.
Mally, did you know that one of the women we're highlighting today is influencing students right here on campus in the School of Media and Strategic Communications?
Yes, Gina Noble has been a professor at Oklahoma State for nearly 20 years, but before that, she made her mark in local government. Gabby Sprang has the story.
Gina Noble has been teaching at Oklahoma State for 18 years. Before OSU, she worked at a children's hospital in Tulsa, where she worked with Children's Miracle Network. During her time here at OSU, she has also spent 5 years serving for the Stillwater government. She was a city council member for the city of Stillwater for 2 years, and then was the mayor of Stillwater for 3 years.
I've always known women can do anything they set their mind to, anything.
She is now working as the Associate Director for Undergraduate Studies and the Associate Professor of Professional Practice, as well as teaching her own classes in the School of Media and Strategic Communications at OSU. Along with her large involvement at Oklahoma State, Gina Noble has made impacts on students for years.
It's just getting involved and listening to people and just being a good listener and learning when you listen. Just learning that we don't know it all. Right. And nobody does. So you surround yourself with good people who push you forward.
For me, my short virtual experience with Gina was inspiring. She is someone that is so easy to listen to and even easier to get influenced by. I want to be a sideline reporter one day, and like Gina said, all women can do anything they put their mind to. So here I am, Gina. Now, unfortunately, because of COVID-19, Gina Noble's sunshine is not able to shine throughout the journalism building. Instead, it is shining virtually for her students this semester. All of her classes have gone online as she is at a high risk for COVID-19 due to a previous health condition. But yet, Gina Noble is still able to influence students virtually.
Professor Noble is really special because she really takes the time to invest in her students and doesn't just care about their grades, but about their well-being as a whole. During all her lectures, she always tells us to make sure we're taking time to take care of ourselves, getting enough sleep, staying calm, and doing everything we can to move forward in a healthy manner during the pandemic.
Thank you, Gina Noble, for influencing many young men and women here at Oklahoma State. We appreciate your bright smile and all of the hard work you put into this university. Continue to shine your light and share your knowledge with us students. For Pete's Corner, I'm Gabby Sprang.
Thanks, Gabby. It's so encouraging to know that there's so many professors at OSU who really encourage students and push them to achieve their goals.
Exactly. In fact, all over OSU's campus, you can find women who are encouraging students to follow their dreams. One in particular is forging a path for women who are wanting to get involved on the creative side of athletics. Now to Sutton James for more.
Courtney Bay's life in Stillwater, Oklahoma started like any other freshman in 2012. Except 8 years later, she's now the creative director for all 15 sports at Oklahoma State University. She has had to learn to find her own voice in the sea of men and help other women find theirs. In college, she started with a position in the athletics communications department, and then every avenue till she found her own groove, which led her to where she is today.
Got a job when I graduated with Cowboy Football, producing their videos and just a lot of their social media content, recruiting content. Basketball job opened. I kind of took a chance and was like, I think I can do this. Moved over to the creative director spot for men's and women's basketball. This is my 3rd year in that role, and I'm also acting as our creative director for the department right now. Sort of connect us, I guess. So I just really love being around sports. The hours are crazy and sometimes it's a lot, but I couldn't picture myself working in any other industry.
Courtney loves being able to tell a story through a camera.
These like common stories in sports and with our student athletes that kind of can unite us.
Courtney said someone she looks up to is OSU head men's basketball coach Mike Boynton, simply because he just allows her to have a seat at the table. Little does Courtney know, the girls that work for her view her the exact same way.
Take no bullshit. Just because you are a woman, does not mean you have to put up with, that happens in sports.
Just like she would tell her interns, she wants all women to stand up and have their voice be heard.
Assert yourself a little bit more than maybe what you're comfortable with, and that's difficult for me because I don't really like bragging on myself or pushing myself into conversations. Sometimes I've had to kind of learn how to do that.
For Pete's Corner, I'm Sutton James.
Thanks, Sutton. As a woman in sports media myself, I can really appreciate Courtney's story so that if she can do it, I can do it too.
Now, there are so many prominent women who have made their mark across the state of Oklahoma, but now let's take a closer look at OSU alumna who have made their mark around the world. Kelsey Briggs has the story.
Over 400 miles of the world's most famous highway stretch across the Sooner State. Scattered along the route is some colorful individuals, but one in particular was the saving grace of Tulsa's Route 66. Her name is Mary Beth Babcock, and she has been chasing her dreams from the day she was born.
Having dwelling spaces was like a decade of my life that is so special to me. It first started as just like a little fun, quirky gift shop, but then quickly shifted to this love for Oklahoma.
Along with her love for Oklahoma, Mary Beth was named the 2011 Oklahoman of the Year. Mary Beth owned Dwelling Spaces and Joe Bott's Coffee Bar at the time of her receiving the award. Her close friends like Lily Cummings say she truly is an iconic woman.
Mary Beth is a ball of energy. I think anyone who meets her could attest to that. She's very, she's full of light. I think she doesn't meet a stranger, which I think is important on Route 66.
When she closed her doors to Dwelling Spaces, Babcock had her eyes set on the stars.
Posted on Facebook, there's this little 1950s gas station on Route 66. I thought, wow, a small gift shop on Route 66 in an old gas station from the 50s? How much more perfect could something get?
Buck Adams' Cosmic Curios on 66 was born, and Buck himself shortly followed.
Now, Buck is an old friend of mine, but even more so, Mary Beth happens to be one of my greatest role models. She has shown what it means to take a community like Tulsa and Route 66 and make them even better. She has also shown me what it means to leave your mark on the state as a local.
Mary Beth certainly embraces the American dream while making time for her friends and family. She is no stranger to Oklahoma's state motto of Labor Omnia Vincit, work conquers all. For Pete's Corner, I'm Kelsey Briggs.
She seems incredible. I'm going to have to go get my kicks on 66 and visit Mary Beth and Buck.
You said it. What better way to honor our alma mater than by taking a trip to visit Tulsa legend and her 21-foot-tall Space Cowboy?
Well, there's so many people who are working in and around the Stillwater community. It has me thinking about the prominent women in my own life. Who's your prominent woman in your life?
It would definitely be my mom. She always encourages me to be the best that I can be and just to go after and accomplish all of my dreams. And I just really appreciate everything that she's done for me day in and day out. I feel like I should tell her. Why don't we give her a call? Hey Mom, what's up?
Just giving Trixie a treat.
Oh, how is she doing?
She's doing well. She just went for her walk.
Oh, good. So you know how I told you that I'm anchoring for Pete's Corner this week?
Yes.
So the theme for this week's episode is prominent women in Oklahoma, and so we're the reporters were like covering different women that like were from OSU grads or like currently at OSU. And
what about Pioneer Woman?
I don't know if she's getting covered, but
okay.
You know, she's there in spirit.
Okay.
But we were talking about who the most prominent women were in our lives, and of course that's you, and so I just wanted to get on and tell you how much I appreciate you, and I miss you so much, but I know that you're supporting me from so far away.
Yeah, well now I'm gonna cry.
Oh, don't cry, you'll ruin your lashes. It's always nice to give your mom a call and tell her how much you appreciate her.
I know, I'm going to have to give her a call on our commercial break. When we come back, we will be over at University Health Services talking to one of the women who is leading the field in medicine.
What is it about Oklahoma State?
This place is special.
Believe me, I know.
It's my home.
I've spent more of my life at OSU than away from it.
So here's what I can tell you.
There's just something about Oklahoma State.
We've had some pretty remarkable people pass through these walls.
People like Henry Ivan, Ed Gallagher,
Robin Ventura, and
Barry Sanders.
I could go on and on about our All-Americans,
our national champions,
and our Hall of Famers.
You could say the people are what make this place special, and you'd be correct.
But it goes beyond the people.
There's something else about Stillwater that attracts greatness.
Maybe it's the hard work that all of us have put in during our time here to make something of ourselves.
Maybe it's the trials we've endured as a family.
We've been tested in ways that most people cannot understand.
Yet we never waver
in who we are
and what we believe in.
We've proven we can win at the highest level.
But winning isn't the only reason why people choose Oklahoma State.
It's more than that.
Our fans don't just cheer for the Cowboys.
They are the Cowboys.
The culture here is bigger than all of us.
It means something to be a Cowboy.
It's the values OSU stands for.
The values of being loyal and true.
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 Welcome back to Pete's Corner. I'm Alex Dusky. Mally Jones and I are sitting outside of the University Health Services here at OSU's campus.
That's right, our next story is about a doctor who is showing that she can make a big impact in her field. Mason Harbor has the story.
Growing up in rural Oklahoma, Dr. Casey Schrum knows the impact of the healthcare disparity in parts of our state. It's why she got into medicine in the first place, and she remains adamant that the patient should be at the center of healthcare. Dr. Schrum graduated from Oklahoma State University in 1998 with a doctorate degree in osteopathic medicine. After spending a few years in the field as a resident in pediatrics, she transitioned over to the teaching side of medicine, where she said she thinks can make an even bigger impact.
Every day when I come to work, I know that what we're working on is going to change the health and the lives of Oklahomans. And you know, again, that's meaningful to me, and that's what gives me purpose every day.
In 2013, Dr. Schrum was promoted to her current position, president of OSU Center for Health Sciences, becoming the youngest, as well as the first female president of a medical school in Oklahoma. Schrum played a key role in the Oklahoma opioid settlement, as well as the Cherokee healthcare deal, which is helping raise a generation of Native American healthcare specialists.
Shortly after his inauguration in 2019, Governor Kevin Stitt appointed Dr. Schrum as Secretary of Science and Innovation on his cabinet. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Schrum assisted the governor as a part of his coronavirus task force, where she was the only physician on his panel.
She worked closely with Stitt and Health Secretary Jerome Loffridge to serve Oklahomans during the health crisis. She since stepped down from her cabinet position in late June to focus more on her family and current job. Dr. Schrum says her biggest advice to young students is that there is no dream too big to accomplish.
The biggest thing that I think stands between us and success is usually ourselves and how much we believe. So, you know, your dreams are only as big as you can imagine, but your reach is really, you know, only limited by how much you believe in yourself.
Dr. Schrum is certainly an example of some of the great things the women in our state are accomplishing on a daily basis, and a reminder to always chase your dreams, even when you're told you can't. For Pete's Corner, I'm Mason Harbor.
Thank you, Mason. It's so nice that we have people at OSU like Dr. Shrum who can serve as a role model for people who might be going into a similar field.
For sure, Dr. Shrum is such an amazing woman, and we are so lucky to have her as part of the OSU community. But we can't talk about accomplished OSU women without mentioning Ann Hargis. You've probably seen her driving around her orange golf cart or hanging out with Pete's Pet Posse, but there's more to her story. Katie Pelzel has more on the first cowgirl.
To say that Ann Hargis is an integral part of the Cowboy family would be an understatement.
You see her on campus, pre-COVID, of course, she's going to run up and give you a hug. If she's met you before, just makes you feel comfortable on campus and in that OSU community.
Hargis shares her love of health and physical fitness with the Cowboy community through her leadership in the Wellness Center and America's Healthiest Campus. Many of Hargis's accomplishments couldn't have been foreseen, especially now, in a time when everyone could use a pick-me-up after looking through a computer screen all day. It sure would be nice to go out and love on a Pete's Pet Posse dog. Hargis helped launch this unique OSU program that has made huge strides in mental health on campus. She even participates in it with her own dog, Scruff.
It's the connection and it's the ability to see the joy in the faces of students when they find success or when they find their passion, or just connecting with students is what this is all about.
She may be the first cowgirl, but her work extends beyond OSU. Hargis plays a big role in the community. It is clear that the first cowgirl has a passion for animals and wellness, but she is also involved with the arts and education. She served as a board member of the Stillwater Public Education Foundation and the Payne County Youth Services. In 2014, Hargis was recognized for her leadership in wellness by being named Oklahoma Woman of the Year by the Journal-Record. In the midst of all of this, Hargis takes care of her own family as well as the Cowboys.
Be true to yourself, trust in yourself, and when you have a passion for something, it's usually because you do it well.
Ann Hargis is a leader on and off campus and an inspiration to anyone that meets her. For Pete's Corner, I'm Katie Pelzel.
Thanks, Katie. If you see Ann Hargis driving around on her golf cart, make sure to stop and ask for a ride and have a chat with her. You can also keep up with her on Twitter at OSU First Cowgirl.
I'll be sure to give her a follow right after this. Well, our next story is about somebody who has been fighting for women's equality since early in her law career. Lauren Eggleston has the story.
Karen Long is one of Oklahoma's most prominent women in law. She is a shareholder and partner with the Rosenstein, Fist, and Ringgold law firm, and she serves as an adjunct settlement judge for the Northern District of Oklahoma. Longshot says she was hired for a general counsel position with the Oklahoma Education Association after passing the bar, and she will never forget when they told her she was a perfect fit because as a woman and a new lawyer, she would be cheap to hire.
There are times when I'm still kind of hurt by that, and then there are times that I am inordinately grateful because from that time I worked very hard.
One of the biggest benchmarks of Long's career has been working on Title IX cases. Title IX is a federal law that prohibits discrimination based on sex. One of the first and biggest Title IX cases she worked was in 1996, when several parents sued the Owasso School District for neglecting to give female softball players equal opportunity as male baseball players.
It made a difference, I felt like, for girls and ultimately women who went from sports in high school and in middle school to getting scholarships.
Because of Karen Long and other lawyers' work in fighting for equality, women today in universities and high schools around the nation are given equal opportunities in education and sports, like the state-of-the-art stadium for women's soccer at Oklahoma State University. OSU has an Equal Opportunities Office, which keeps the university accountable in Title IX and other issues of discrimination. Jackson Landrum is the Director, Equal Employment Opportunity and Title IX Coordinator.
State University has been very compliant with Title IX.
Karen Long has also worked on equal employment opportunities for educators and says she is still working in education law and loving it every day. For Pete's Corner, I'm Lauren Eggleston.
Thank you, Lauren. It's so nice that we have people who are actively fighting for women's rights.
We've heard some incredible stories about so many women from across the state, but right here at UHS, one amazing woman is working hard to ensure that the young women on campus receive the care that they need at the Women's Clinic.
Dawn Swinford is the one behind it all, and here at the Women's Clinic, students can come for a variety of different services and treatments.
We are so lucky to have a low-cost resource like this available to the young women of OSU's campus. If you'd like to check out more about the Women's Clinic or make an appointment with Dawn, visit uhs.okstate.edu and make an appointment through your patient portal.
Well, now Alex and I are going to go over to the College of Human Sciences, and there we will be hearing more stories about prominent women in Oklahoma. But for now, we're going to take a commercial break, so we'll see you when we get back.
Because of Cass, I'm more confident behind the camera.
Because of Cass, I have found lifelong friends and amazing mentors.
Because of Cass, I will be able to teach English in Cambodia with the Peace Corps.
Because of Cass, I had the opportunity to intern on Capitol Hill.
Because of Cass, I got to sing at the Vatican.
Because of Cass, I was able to present my research and I won a scholarship for it.
Because of Cass, I'm Miss Black OSU.
Because of Cass, I can help someone else find their voice.
Because of Cass, I'm able to not only have 1, but 2 internships for the summer lined up already.
Because of Cass, I am confident in leadership positions. Because of Cass, I'm excited for my future and the opportunities I have within my major.
Because of Cass, I can do it, and so can you.
Welcome back to Pete's Corner. I'm Mallie Jones.
And I'm Alex Dusky. We're here outside the College of Human Sciences, standing next to the statue of civil rights pioneer Nancy Randolph Davis. Davis was the first African-American student at Oklahoma A&M University back in 1949 when she started her graduate degree in home economics.
Davis got her bachelor's degree from Langston University. Originally, she was not allowed to sit in the classroom. She was forced to sit out in the hallway away from her peers, but eventually her peers complained and she was allowed to sit back in her classroom.
The statue is dedicated in January 2019 in a ceremony with Davis's family, President Burns Hargis, and Dr. Stephen Wilson, the Dean of the College of Human Sciences. Next, we have a woman who is also a major civil rights activist in the state of Oklahoma. The Black Lives Matter movement has impacted so many lives across the state thanks to Reverend T. Sherry Dickerson, who brought the movement here. Here's more on the story of the woman behind the cause.
Black Lives Matter and women's march movements have made an impact for many people over the years. Reverend T. Sherry Dickerson is known as a founding member of both movements in the state of Oklahoma. She has dedicated her life to standing up for the people who have faced oppression in their lives.
I've just always been surrounded by a community of amazing Black women. Growing up around civil rights leaders, around clergy folk, and being in community, this was the norm. This is what you do. You fight for Black liberation, for empowerment, for your intersectional communities, and it is your reasonable service, and it is obligatory. I felt a different type of urging to be more rooted in movement work.
Reverend T. Sherry Dickerson has always fought for marginalized groups. She has inspired many of the youth today to stand and advocate against racially motivated violence.
They're going to be part of that generation that's not just going to, but that is currently changing the world.
Melissa Douglas, a Black Lives Matter activist out of Tulsa, also feels inspired to stand up against violence toward African Americans.
For Breonna Taylor, because she deserves so much, and it wasn't really fair for her at all, and she needs justice, so that makes me more like we need to fight for what's right and give her, and for everybody, for just, that's sad for people to think that, and we have to teach our kids that, like, since you're a different color, you know, something can happen to you.
Reverend T. Sherry Dickerson continues to lead many equality movements and inspire today's youth to fight for underrepresented people. For Pete's Corner, I'm Savannah Sundberg.
Thanks, Savannah. She seems like truly such an amazing woman, and it was so great to hear her story.
I can't believe how many prominent women we've gotten to learn about today, each of them so remarkable in their own way. Next up, we have somebody who has done a lot throughout her career. She has a passion for leaving things better than the way that she found them. Piper Reese has the story. Thank you, Piper. Natalie has done so much in this community, and she is such a driving force for change.
It's hard to believe our show is almost over. We've heard some incredible stories today, and we have just one more for you guys today. LGBT youth has had discrimination against them in schools, communities, and even their home life. That's why Sarah Cunningham created Free Mom Hugs, an organization whose mission is to educate families, church, and civil leaders on how to not only affirm the value of their LGBTQ plus community, but also celebrate them.
And the fact that this journey took us from the church to the Pride Parade with, number one, not losing my faith. And I've gone from one extreme to the other. And I know that there's a mom out there like me then who needs to hear from a mom like me now.
That's Sarah Cunningham. She's the founder of Free Mom Hugs, which educates families, churches, and civic leaders, encouraging them to not only affirm the value of the LGBTQ plus community, but celebrate them and give some hugs.
And we had grown men coming over the barricades to get hugs.
I talked with Jan, who, like Sarah, was inspired by her own son to serve in this way.
You know, that first parade and table we had, I don't know, maybe 10 people. and then it just, you know, it just grew and grew and grew and grew.
She told me about a place that is very special to her and to Free Mom Hugs, 39th Street. Right here is where Pride is held every single year and where many of the community's LGBTQ plus establishments are. Right here is where Sarah has hugged many people. Sarah's story is far from over. 2 movies are in the works, including one where she's being played by Jamie Lee Curtis. She also has written a book titled How We Sleep at Night, a mother's memoir.
And he had just said, I know so many people that they have to leave when they come out, and that was our takeaway is though he was safe and we were safe, there are a lot of people that aren't. And so what could we do to try to make it safe for others? And Free Mom Hugs was that answer for us.
of coming from a very evangelical, conservative, non-affirming stance to getting educated, and the power of fear and ignorance versus the power of love and education. And it's the ripple effect of love and the power of education.
For Pete's Corner, this is Ellen Slater.
Thanks, Ellen. Sarah's story really is so heartwarming. That's all we have for you on this week's episode of Pete's Corner. Next week, we'll be gearing you up for the upcoming election and all you need to know, so make sure to tune in and watch that. For Pete's Corner, I'm Alex Dusky.
And I'm Mallie Jones.
Have a great night.